According to G&G, in the future, all airsoft guns are going to be able to fit in this backpack. What's going on, boomers and doomers? On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the world's first Transformers airsoft gun. And what I mean by that is G&G probably saw the most recent Transformers movie, saw the Autobots, think that was really cool. And you know what? Autobots roll out and presented this gun. In case you missed the beginning, if you were wondering what I mean by Transformers, well, Autobots roll out. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the two airsoft guns in front of me, those being the G&G FAR 556 and the FAR 9. And the biggest feature about these guys is that they fold. And that's it. First, let's talk about the G&G FAR 556. This is going to be the first variation we're going to talk about. Polymer construction throughout, nothing new, but again, it is G&G polymer, so it is going to be very durable, very strong. It is going to be using a polymer M-LOK rail system. I like the design of the M-LOK rail system, nice and clean. You're going to get a little bit of a paracord pull string here to make it easier when you want to unfold the front end. It is going to be sporting a folding stock as well. Portion of it is going to be made out of metal, but a lot of it is also going to be comprised of polymer and a polymer pistol grip, which is fairly comfortable, but again, nothing crazy or absolutely brand new from G&G. The FAR 556 will also be sporting an ambi mag release in addition to an ambi charging handle, also these nice CAC-style low-profile iron sights, and a really cool flat trigger. Now, the biggest selling feature for the FAR 556, according to G&G anyway, is going to be its folding capabilities. Let me show you how to do that. On the right side of the receiver towards the rear end, there is going to be a button. You can press that to fold the stock. However, you want to make sure that you actually fold in the outer barrel first, pull the paracord out, and it folds in just like that, and your entire barrel assembly will come along with it. Now you can press the button for the stock, fold that in, and you're done. Quick side note, G&G let us know that in order to use the folding function on the FAR 556, best not to use it with an empty magazine. This is due to the follower sticking out whenever you have an empty mag. When you have a fully loaded magazine, that should be no problem whatsoever. Small little shorty mag in there. Let's talk about the internals. The FAR series is going to be sporting the EFRIT motor from G&G, so it is going to be giving you a snappier trigger response and a little bit of a faster rate of fire. The gearbox itself is going to be the same gearbox you would find in the Comet machine lineup, your 2.0 series specifically. And that's about it. It is going to be using the 2.0 ETU MOSFET, which is cool. It's programmable for 3-round bursts, but that's pretty much about it. Now, one of my personal favorite features about the FAR series has got to be the battery compartment. Now, with this skeletonized stock design, you might be thinking, where the heck am I going to put the battery? It's actually still rear wired. Simply pull this button here, push this latch down, and you're able to access the battery compartment, and you actually get a fair amount of space, enough to fit a good size 11.1 LiPo battery in there. This is actually going to be the same stock design that is used on the ARP9 3.0, which is very cool to see it cross over. Now let's talk about the price. The G&G FAR 556 currently retails at Airsoft GI for $300, but make sure to use Wombo Como so you get free shipping automatically and you get reward store credit back. Next, we're going to talk about the G&G FAR 9, which, other than the magazine, is the only real difference. Like I stated previously, this is basically going to be the exact same model, just with the 9mm style version. This is going to be using the ARP receiver set of polymer construction throughout, very durable, very nice. It is going to be using the same stock as the 3.0 ARP9, the same CAC-style low-profile iron sights, and it folds the exact same way. Simply pull this out, pull that in. You can put the stock in, and then you're done. Now, I want to take a second to give G&G props for a moment. From an engineering standpoint, the folding barrel assembly, the fact that the entire assembly, inner barrel, hop-up, and all, folds along with the outer barrel and the rail is actually very impressive. It is a cool function. How practical it is, that's to be decided. Another thing I actually do like from a design standpoint has got to be the barrel length. I know for a while when the PCC hype train was going on, everyone thought that the 4-inch outer barrel was a good idea. I was never a big fan of it. I know a lot of us here at GI we're kind of impartial to it. However, I think that this more healthy 7 to 8-inch length, it just looks a lot more nice. A couple other unique features I want to point out with the FAR 9 has got to be the front end. Now, it's not using a traditional flash hider, it's actually using some thread protectors on there. It's 14mm counterclockwise threads underneath. G&G probably assumes you're going to end up using a tracer unit with this guy. I mean, I know I would. And I like the inclusion of the shorter style magazine instead of the traditional long ARP9 magazine. This is meant, we believe, to make it a lot easier to stow away. In fact, I really dig this shorty mag so much so that I'm actually wondering why other companies aren't jumping on this PTS. Where's the shorty mags at? When it comes to the internals, again, it's going to be the exact same as the 556 model. You are going to be getting the same Comet machine gearbox, the 2.0 ETU MOSFET, rotary style hop-up chamber, and yeah, across the board, it's going to be the exact same gun. Now, if you're not a fan of the internals or it sounds a little too boring, don't worry, it is still using a standard version 2 gearbox, like we mentioned earlier, and especially when it comes to G&G, I know a lot of you guys are going to be upgrading the heck out of this bad boy. Me personally, all I would really do is swap out the inner barrel assembly for a unicorn bucking and inner barrel. Again, it's so easy to access in the first place anyway. Right now, the G&G FAR 9 currently retails at Airsoft GI for $288. Make sure to take advantage of the Wombo combo, get store credit back, and you'll also get automatic free shipping. Now, to answer the biggest question you guys have been wondering, will the folding design affect the performance? Let's find out and shoot this thing. Both of them. All right, we're out here at the range. We're gonna be test firing both of the FAR series AEGs from G&G. I have a target set up, I'd say about like 75 feet away. You know, generally that'd be about CQB length, which again, these guns were meant for CQB. Have 11 ones plugged into both of them, and I've already adjusted the hop. Using 2 5s with these, we'll see how they do. There is a bit of a cross breeze, but let's just see what we get, right? Let's go ahead and test fire the FAR 9 first. Go ahead and deploy this bad boy. And make sure it's nice and locked into place. I have the magazine that comes included with standard right there. Let's fire this bad boy. All right, it's not too bad. We are getting the target, we are hitting it. A little bit of a breeze going on, but for the most part, we're on target. A little bit over top, not too bad. Alright, that should empty the magazine, again with only just a few rounds left. Yeah, not too bad. Again, it performs just as what I would expect a combat machine to perform at. Next, we're going to go over the FAR 5.56 version. Again, should be the exact same results considering it's the exact same gun, just in a 5.56 package. As soon as I can get that right, there you go. This is the magazine that it comes included with as well. Some 2 5s, let's go ahead and fire this. Some semi. Exact same performance that you would expect. The trigger response is not too bad actually with an 11.1. Yeah, it performs just right where I would expect it to be. Yeah. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Again, it's going to perform at the exact same level that the FAR 9 is going to be. Again, it's the exact same gun, just in a 5.56 version. Again, performs right where I would expect the combat machine to be. Trigger response is decent. Rate of fire, again, we're going to test that next. Oh, we're a bit further out now. We have the target set up at, I'd say, about roughly 150-ish feet. That's going to be generally your like rough general outdoor engagement distance. We're gonna test it with the FAR 9 again. I have a Classic Army mid-cap magazine here. Now we folded it back up and we're gonna redeploy it, see if that affects the long-range performance. I don't believe it will, considering it's all a one-piece moving system, but we'll see. I'm gonna load that magazine up. Let's go ahead and test fire. We are still hitting the target. It's still hopping, which is good. I'm not sure if we're actually getting the target now, considering the cross breeze we're getting. That one hit. Some of them might be a little bit over hopping, but yeah, it's about what I expected. It still can hit the target out. It just will struggle a little bit further out. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing, but with the FAR 5.56 version. Unfold this. Make sure that's hooked into place. Stock magazine that it comes included with. Let's fire this bad boy. Semi. Yeah, it's the exact same performance. I didn't need to change the hop up or readjust it. It's held in place. It's always good to see. But my favorite thing about this has got to be the motor itself. Just how fast that thing can shoot. That has got to be my favorite part about it. And again, the ETU does help. Again, being able to run that 11.1 LiPo, I would say is pretty much essential to be able to use this effectively. All in all, I'm actually very impressed, mainly with the fact that the hop-up system doesn't need to be readjusted every time you fold it and redeploy it. Boaz was expecting that to be readjusted. I didn't think so, and turns out I was right. Another thing that I actually always love about any of the newer G&G combat machines specifically has got to be the IFRIT motor that comes right out of the box. It always gives it a really nice, healthy rate of fire, and that's something I've always been impressed by. Regarding the out-of-the-box performance, they perform exactly like you would expect, just like a combat machine would, because essentially that's what they are. They are just a ARP9 and an ARP556. That's really all it is at the end of the day, that just happened to fold. But the biggest question here at Airsoft GI that we're asking ourselves is, who are these guns designed for? There are not too many applications where I can see that the folding capabilities of the FAR series would come into play or be very useful, outside of maybe trying to pack away and stow away all your airsoft stuff and you wanted to take up less space. Maybe having it folded will make it a lot easier to stow away. If you wanted to have a more compact setup when you're walking onto the field, you know, I could see that being potentially useful in a really small box. The biggest application I could see this for really would actually be in the milsim scene. A lot of guys that I know and some of my personal friends will use their personal vehicles in game and use them in the actual scenario. So I could see maybe a driver having one of these maybe tucked away somewhere and stowed away. That could be very useful as it's very easy and fast to deploy. But even then, that does seem very niche. Both the FAR 556 and the FAR 9 currently retail close to $300. $300 for what is essentially an ARP series. Because of that, I'm not too sure how popular these models will end up being in the future. But at the end of the day, I still want to commend G&G for being able to innovate and bringing something new to the airsoft community. And hopefully, this will encourage G&G to continue making new stuff for the community. All right, guys, that about wraps up this video. Let us know in the comment section what you think about the FAR series from G&G. Is this a design, a folding design that you've been wanting this whole time but just never really communicated with us? Regardless, let us know in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. To directly support the channel, make sure to shop for all your airsoft needs. If this is something you need, shop for it at Airsoft GI. My name is Isaias, and I will see you guys on the next one.